Oh, hey guys, it's the legendary triple upload in one day. I'm hoping to upload 3 videos today. I think I just did a tiny one, which is 10 minutes. Tiny in both senses of the words. It's just an introduction, and I'm going to be hoping to play some games, show you some in-game stuff. This is the second one. It's going to be Sand King Part 2. Basically, what happened is someone sent me a video, or a replay, I guess, match ID, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's Mr. Jibble doesn't care here. And he's an Archon 7 player, and I'm gonna read out the message actually because I don't wanna. He said, "Hey, I saw your video on SK and I felt it was really useful, but I had a really bad game last night and I was wondering if you could do a replay analysis for me that game. Note that I normally rush Veil Boots then Blink that game, but that game, then Blink, but that game I was just so fucked that I felt I had to rush Blink first to scavenge, but in the end I played bad all round. So this is the match ID. Um, Firstly, what he says is actually very true. Sometimes you're going to be having a bad game and you can't buy your veil. You just need a blink and try and come back into the game. There's literally nothing wrong with that. You don't always need a veil on Sand King. It's more of a luxury item. Now, firstly, you wanna at the start of the game, before anything happens, you have a lot of free time on your hands. Now, during the game, the problem is we're all human. We're gonna panic. That we're gonna need time to think about situations. So what you should spend your draft stage doing instead of playing fucking RuneScape on your phone or whatever you want to do. I might be projecting a little bit here myself, but you want to look at the enemy lineup and your lineup and think about the game ahead of time and thinking about situations that are gonna happen. So for me, the main thing you want to think about is your lane. So you're going to be up against a Faceless Void and probably a Lion. Now, the first thing you need to consider is this a lane I'm going to be winning, drawing, or losing? And if so, how should I be approaching the lane? Now, when I look at something like Faceless Void, I'm thinking he has 61 base damage. I have 50 base damage. I'm not going to be able to outlast him. Um, so usually when you can't outlast hit someone, you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, I can just harass them out playing with Caustic Finale against a melee hero. It's not really going to work against Void because firstly, you can deny the creeps with ease, and your position 4 is likely going to be a melee hero, and it's, or like a Grimstroke. I can't really tell. I think it's a Grimstroke pos 4. But anyway, both of you do no damage. The Void and the Lion are going to do a lot of damage, 50 and 61 against like whatever, 50 and maybe like 51. It's 46, even worse than I imagined. And he has Orb of Venom, so he has no stats. Now, with this in mind, you need to realize even if I do land some Caustic Finales, this man is just going to time walk all the damage back and then out trade me afterwards. So Caustic Finale, you can basically ignore the spell. All it's going to do is push in the lane. It's going to give them free XP. It's just not great against Faceless Void. Don't level it. So you actually made the correct choice, but don't do it this early. There's no point leveling a spell before you need it, because what if you need a Burrow Strike to finish a kill or get the rune? So that's the first mistake you made. Hold this point. Now, because this lane, like I said before, is losing, you want to be doing this build. This is the correct build. You want to be trying to out-sentry them. Um, so, yeah. One thing I like to do is I like to plant a sentry ahead of time, just so the enemy team don't know exactly where all my sentries are. One spot I like to do here on Radiant is I like to put it here, for example, or maybe here in the tree lines, because there's like a glitch. I don't know if it's a glitch or if it's intentional, but Quelling Blaze and not Stout Shields, fucking Tangos will prioritize trees over wards, so it's really hard to click inside the tree line. Um, so that's where you want to be placing your sentries. So early game, you're just going to be scouting. So you place a ward in advance here. This is not really a great sentry ward. And the reason is, I don't know if you're blocking a small camp with this. Okay, this is your first mistake. If you're in a losing lane, you actually want them to have this camp. And it's pretty simple why. If they stack and pull, you can walk over and sandstorm it for money. If they don't, you can cut into it for money. Um, you don't ever really want to be blocking camps at Sand King because this is actually your revenue. So don't do that. And if you're using this as a way to find their sentry walls, all their sentry walls are going to be in this area. So this is a really big waste of a sentry. So already you're off to a bad start, I would say. Uh, One thing I like to do is at 20 seconds in, I like to walk over here. If I'm going to level Sandstorm, I'm just going to stand here. I'm just going to Sandstorm it just to get the rune. Or it makes them waste a sentry. Either is a massive win. You don't really want to be starting lane. See, like, you're probably going to walk over here. You're going to get double stun. And then you get one rune. But, like, you're not really using your mana effectively. Like, you basically have a lot of mana regen that you just wasted. So, yeah. Now, the first thing is I'm going to click on player perspective on you, just to see how you approach this lane. Now, the first thing is you want to be dragging back towards this range creep, which is something you do, which is nice. Whenever the lion shows up in lane, what you want to be trying to do is trying to click on him to see how many sentries he has, because information is king for Sand King. Alright, nice pun. You want to know how many sentries he has, if he has dust, you know. So right now you're a little bit clueless, actually. Yeah, so this is the problem, really. I think you click on him there. Yeah, you probably click on him there, actually. I think the player perspective just doesn't show. So so I'm just going to assume you did click on him, and if you didn't, that's something you can work on. So you know he has one sentry, right? Already, now this is something that's not that easy. It's easier said than done. With experience, hold up. I'm actually slightly confused. I think you pre-fire yours. Wait, hold up. I'm really confused, actually. Whose sentry is this? This is their sentry, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so he already has a sentry down. Alright, this makes sense. Okay, apologies. So one thing you want to do is you want to work out the enemy support starting gold. This sounds really hard, and to be honest, it kind of is. But, you know, you can assume he buys Courier, 2 Wars, or whatever. If he starts with 6 Tangos, and he gives 2 to his mid, and he has 2 Clarities Mango, this is 100 gold, this is 70 gold, this is 180, so you can do like 180 plus 70 plus 100 is 200, 250, 350, and then plus the Courier gold is 400. And then 2 Observer Wars are 50 each, so that's 500 gold. Now, with 500 gold, the thing is, actually, I'm going to dial it back a bit, because most supports nowadays, they buy a single ward. So with 450 gold left, he probably buys 2 sentries to make 600, right? So knowing that, he probably has 2 sentry wards, and most supports start 2 sentry wards against Sand King. So if you're ever in doubt, just assume they start 2 sentry wards. So when you click on him and you see he has 1 only, you should kind of guess that it's here, but regardless. And one thing I like to do if I want to check for a sentry early game, I like to just put down my W early and try and aggro off the void. If the creeps follow you, that means the sentry is down. If not, then that means no sentry is down. But anyway, you're playing the laning stage. See, when you see that this is happening, you know there's a sentry down. Don't place it here. Look how easy it is to de-ward. Place it up here in this tree line as well so that you can walk down and investigate what's going on. So losing the sentry, this is already really bad. He's used a single sentry and both your sentries are out of play. So yeah, I mean, this is just a really bad start to the game already. So at this point, with no sentries, you probably ship one out, right? Yeah, ship out 1 sentry. He puts down another sentry. You can probably guess because you saw you can see that it disappears from inventory at this point, and he's already using this on you, so you can actually throw down a sentry, try and cut it with your Quelling Blade or your Tango. And if you play on high ping, then this is kind of bad for you because it's very important that you're good at this. So you buy some regen on the Courier, which is understandable because you're low. Get your level 3. Now at this point, what you really want to do, because this lane is going horribly, you've been out sentried, you know, your Earthshake, it really isn't helping. In fact, you actually die here, and you want to make sure you never die under your tower when there's a lot of creeps coming in. Just play really safe, play here. But anyway, you pick up all your stuff. You want to get level 3 now. This lane is really horrible. There are ways around this. I'm just going to keep watching. But it's mainly that early game. See how your sentries always start in the... Okay, few mistakes there. You always sentry in the tree line, so it's hard for them to click, and you want to react faster on this sentry and try and cut it with your Tango. Also, when people chase you under your tower, make sure you use your Tango as well as yourself, because this gives you a lot of regen. But the stun was nice. You should have kept running instead of man fighting a void, because your Shaker hadn't blocked anyway. Just a little bit of greed. If you ever die in the early game, you can actually smoke out your base for 80 gold. It's going to give you, it's going to let you walk to lane faster. It's probably worth it, to be honest. I wouldn't recommend it in higher skill games. It's actually important, but low skill games is whatever. You finally get the sentry, but if you click on him, he has more sentries. So you're constantly 1 sentry down, basically. And like, you're not really creep cutting. At some point, you want to just give up on the lane that's currently happening. You want to tell your Shaker to just hold the lane, and then you walk here and start creep cutting. But But yeah, you're buying a lot of regen. You're buying like double mangoes and more sentries. Like the lane is already over. You can give up. Stop buying sentries and just go jungle or something. Don't need this many mangoes, but the range drop is nice. Now the level 5 caustic is gonna do nothing. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop watching this for a second. I'm just gonna show you mine because I also have a bad lane. Now we're gonna keep watching that replay in the mid game because I assume there's other questions you have apart from the bad laning phase like itemization stuff like that. Now you can see we actually lost this game, but I actually did pretty well. My lane went well. So using the process of thinking about the game before the game starts, the first thing you can see is that I'm playing against a Timbersaw safe lane, and you can guess it's a Timbersaw safe lane because it's probably a Dazzle mid, because it's probably not a Dazzle carry. Now, how is Sand King ever going to be a Timbersaw lane? The answer is very simple. He fucking isn't. So I bought the same items as you. Dark Willow is also annoying. You know, like this is just rough lane for Sand King. See, my Tiny's actually gone for an Uve. So first difference is I'm not leveling my spell until I need it. I put my W on here nice and early. See, they don't really want to come in here. They don't want to waste a sentry. So I'm going to get the rune. Then we try and go on this Willow a little bit. I think my Tiny actually dies here, which is not great. Yeah, my Tiny actually dies. They get their tri-lane out. I put down my sentry nice and early in the tree line just so I can battle their sentries. I put this down. They put down a sentry here. I see it. I actually see it. And more importantly, he attacks me as well. So I know something's not fucking right. So I'm walking over. I'm looking for the sentry. I cut it with my Tango. So I'm alive now. 1 HP. I think he actually gets me with the Q here. I mean, it's just unlucky, but at least, you know, I got the sentry killed. I buy 1 salve instead of more sentries. Now, see, because of the way I put down my sentry, with me having the sentry advantage, I can actually play a lot more safe than you. You always had a sentry on you, I have a sentry on my side. See, whenever there's a double wave under my tower, I'm going to place nice and safe. Not going to die. Just use my W to farm with, get some denies. This is a big wave. I'm going to use my stun to get 3 last hits here. Just last hit on the tower a little bit more. Okay, buy my boots now because I want to run away from this Timbersaw. So yeah, see, my sentry's still alive at this point because I didn't waste one either. I still have another one. They dust me out. I know he has dust, but I actually want to kill the Willow here. I think this is a really long pause actually, so I'm going to try and skip it. Alright, I actually missed some of the game because of that pause. Alright, so yeah, they try and kill me here. I blink to dodge the next Q. Something you can do, use your Q to disengage. Don't always have to use stun heroes. But as soon as I get level 2, see what I do here, right? I tell my Tiny, I'm not going to play this lane anymore because it's fucking terrible. The Timber's constantly queuing me. Even if I'm invis, I can't really last it that well. And this guy's really annoying and he has a dust, so I'm going to die here. So what I do is, like I said before, you run over here with your level 3, or your 2 levels in your W, however you want to prefer to say it. And I'm just going to make it so that Timbersaw wants to play here, right? And Dark Willow has to fight me 1v1. Now, Dark Willow is not going to beat me 1v1 because this is going to do more damage than she can output. So I know that Dark Willow's on her way. I'm just going to drag these creeps around a little bit because I want to use my W on 2 sets of waves, 2 waves. Now, just constantly attacking. This game, my last hit, she dusts me. You see, like, she doesn't want to fight inside my sandstorm. How's she going to kill me? I actually get rooted here. The dust just runs out. I actually could have killed her there with a stun, but it's a little bit of hesitation on my part. We actually get the kill there. So, after I get this kill, I actually go kill myself as well because I don't want to play. I don't want to sit here on 1 health, 1 mana. I'd rather go base. And so that's something you can integrate into your game as well. But you see, I have 500 gold. I'm going to TP back to lane with my crown. Because I want to contest this rune. My Tiny actually pulls for me here, so this is really nice. Just going to pick up a lot more XP, a lot more gold. Minute 5, you see I'm already on the rune. That's something that you really weren't doing. These are really important. I'm going to grab 2 runes here. Now, you see the wave is already here, but if you look at the time, I know I can cut the next wave. So I'm just going to tell my Tiny, again, you can hold the wave, you can get the XP. I'm just going to go do something else because I don't want to lane against the Timber. This is the siege wave. I'm going to try and double it up again, I believe is what I do. I think I actually die here to a roam. No, I just W it here, but I'm driving it around a little bit just so I can make sure I can get see that range creep actually gets away, but whatever. So next wave comes in and my W is still up. You see, like, Timber can't really walk away from his creeps, so I'm just going to keep doing this. Now my W runs out, so I run away a little bit. He actually gets the deny off. Just get some harass off as well on this Willow. She walks too near me. You know, like, she's going to deny some creeps. No, not really a big deal. I'm going to stun in just to get her off me. She can't kill me, I can't kill her. But the thing is, she's getting how much XP? 0. I'm getting a lot of XP. My Tiny can now roam, can scare the Dazzle. Like, this is a really bad game because my team were really bad, to be honest. Like, this Legion had no idea what it was doing. But you can see, like, in a good game, this would all be really positive stuff. And I'm getting a lot of gold against the lane that I can't really lane against. My Tiny can roam. But, you know, at some point you just want to sacrifice the lane and just cut the next one instead. And then, you know, when things are quiet like this, then you can start cutting like this. And I don't have the level in Caustic Finale, so I don't have to. My stun is a little bit stronger as well, so that's nice. But yeah, just learn the timings, make sure you're always cutting. And you might be thinking, yeah, why isn't this Mirana going on me? See, like, the Mirana tries an arrow here. I'm just going to try and juke around a little bit. So I know that I'm going to die here, so I'm just going to try and get the last hits if it's humanly possible. So I just hit a little bit. I get some last hits. Now I know I'm dead here because I know the Dark Willow is probably on her way. I'm just going to try and get the last hits before I die. I think I get the range creep, but it's good enough for me. 1500 gold in the bank. I buy my Veil recipe so I can buy the hood. Now with my Veil, I do the exact same thing. I'm doing some more cutting. I'm doubling up the wave. You can even Veil the wave if you want, but I'd rather save it for when someone tries to fight me. Now I'm level 7 against the level 8 Timber, I believe. But, you know, the lane's not that bad. I have 1 kill, 3 deaths. One of them was a deny, so it's basically 1 and 2. But I look at the net worth. I'm 3,700. That's second in the game. Like, considering I'm against Timber, it's pretty respectable. And now I'm just going to farm as much as it's possible. Can even try and pressure the tower a little bit. So yeah, this is the case why you should have your TP on you. I think someone complained that in the other video I didn't have TP in the early game, so you know, make sure you carry TPs in the early game, I guess. We actually killed the Timber there with an epicenter at level 10. Again, it's all about holding your skill points, seeing what you need, you know, because some people would level Caustic and then they wouldn't have the kill potential there. And then I buy my Blink. So you can see it's a hard lane. 5 minute 13 blink. I'm second highest net worth, and 3 and 3 73 last hits. So that's how you recover. That's how you play these difficult lanes. Let's keep watching into the mid game for your game. It's all about knowing when to sacrifice a lane. It's all about knowing where to put your sentries. Your sentry placement was really bad, and you just kept playing the lane over and over again. You're buying so much regen. At some point, you just want to kill yourself on the tier 2 tower. Now, at this point, you realize, okay, the lane has gone to shit. I'm just going to jungle. I assume you stack this for yourself, which is quite nice. But your last hit count is really bad. And you have a soul ring, which I wouldn't recommend. So yeah, so you're jungling. It would be better to just play here instead. It's more XP. It's going to be better for your overall game. So your team actually show up to get some kills here, which is nice for you. So basically some free gold. The other thing is Magic Stick is really good on Sand I know I don't buy it very often, but it's a really strong item. It helps you sustain in lane, and it baits a lot of people into dying into Sandstorm. Now, where are you TPing here? You shouldn't really TP to go here. If you're going to TP, you should TP here, even if it's a 4-second TP. But anyway, you guys kill like a Kunkka or something. Try. Not quite. No big deal. You should really go back to lane instead of jungling. Jungling as position 3 is really bad. Because you're not exerting any lane pressure. It lets the enemy team basically play 5v4. Even if you're going to die in this lane, you want to be playing here and forcing the position 4 and 5 to both show on the map, or you get some farm either way. Regardless, stacking Ancients is nice. You don't really want to be farming Ancients to Sand King though, because the magic resistance is too high. Look how slow this is. 30 seconds later, they're half health. I mean, this is not really worth it. full minute and look how much damage you're taking as well. This isn't even that much gold. This is like 400 gold at most. Just farm other camps. And if you're going to farm Ancients, there's an easy way. When the creeps are leaving your aggro range, you want to hit them on the way back so you don't take damage. I guess I can show in a demonstration later. Anyway, it's just... I mean, you're basically playing jungle Sand King at this point. Your farm isn't even good. It'd be way better to play here or here, double up the wave, you know, like they're not gonna fucking show up with a void just to chrono you, and even if they do, they lose more gold than they gain. So yeah, so this is just really bad. You're letting your team play 4v5 for a very, very, very long time. Minute 17, still no blink, still jungling. So yeah, you want to check this ancient as well, because these are the ancients that you can farm. You don't even check it once. See, you could have farmed these really quickly actually. Anyway, so a little bit of a optimistic epicenter there against a bunch of stuns, and you buy your blink, desperation blink to try and get some return kills. Alright, first thing, if you're going to buy desperation blink at minute 19, don't show it at mid. Don't just TP in here and just show your blink for no reason at all. What's the point of buying a surprise blink if it's not a surprise to anyone? Really bad. You should TP up here and then play behind your Spectre with your blink. Just basically ruined your element of surprise, which is the only reason you would ever buy blink like this. Let's have a look at this fight real quick. This is basically your first fight with blink. I think your repo straight nice. Pan goes in pretty hard here. Guys run away. Can maybe bait your Spectre here. Now, this is a nice place to epicenter. I will start charging Effie right now. Nice. And then in on these two. Ah, no. Wrong angle, brother. I can see a better stun than this. You want to blink here, and you want to stun downwards to hit 2. And you want to press your W before you press your Q, because it gives you more damage. And you also want to use a Soul Ring if you're going to buy a Soul Ring, which I wouldn't anyway. So yeah, bad fight. Blink Howl. You want to carry some sentries on yourself as Sand King, just so you can remove the enemy sentries. You're kind of just AFK right now. You really want to be like here, pushing out the lane with your Sandstorm. You know, like you want to do things. So yeah, die again here. You really in a bad game like this, it's like a rage buyback as well. Oh no, you're defending high ground actually. Like this is a nice place to blink in and stun 2 people. You're kind of just doing nothing. Like look how little you're doing. You have your blink. You can blink in and stun 2 people and save half your team. Or you can start charging your Effie. Instead, it's just like kind of just AFK. Then when you finally do blink Effie, go for the Lion, go for these 2, you do a lot more. Don't focus so much on your Epi that you fail to see the basic game. Focus on your stun more than your Epi. So yeah, back to my replay for a second. In fact, where is it? Sand King, stats. But yeah, so the takeaway lessons for the mid game is that 1, you never jungle like that because it just gives the enemy team too much of an advantage. 2, if your team are taking bad fights, you can go split push and get some gold. 3, don't use your epicenter in such a way that you fail to see the bigger picture, you know. Now, let me go back a little bit to here maybe. Okay, forwards a little bit actually to here. Let me just go back to this team fight and show you what happens in it. Okay, so see, the thing firstly is that I'm gonna be doing some split pushing. This is something you can do with Sand King because you don't show on the minimap inside the Sandstorm. You can get a lot of farm this way. You farm really fast. It's hard to catch you. Now, I anticipate there's going to be a fight at the tier 2 mid, so I'm going to run here ahead of time and hide behind some trees. Now, this looks like a nice little 3-man F, so I'm just going to go for it. Boom. 2-man stun, get the Veil off, get the Sandstorm off. The Mirana barely survives, the Shaker barely survives. You see, I'm like waiting for my next blink and my next stun. I get the Shaker kill, and I'm the Sandstorm in here. It's doing a lot of damage. But yeah, it's about landing that better stun, and it's about channeling from inside the trees and just anticipating the fight ahead of time so that you don't spend 2 seconds waiting for a reaction, you know. Then you see my farm is a lot better as well. Even if you disregard the laning stage, I'm not really just running around the map doing nothing. I'm playing behind my team so that when the fight does happen, I can do stuff like this. I can use off the dust. This is the benefit of having more farm. I'm going to stun out the fight for a little bit now, but I'm going to stay relatively close just so I can re-engage if I need to. Get down my Q here, get down my Veil. Nice little 2-man stun. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for my next stun here. I'm out of mana, so I'm just going to blink out, you know. I think they use a dust and then I blink out. So yeah, but mainly it's about the laning stage and just try and improve that, and you'll see a drastic improvement in your overall game.